What's up, guys? Welcome into another Zoned In podcast. My name is Brandon, also known as Chickenfried818. Also with me on today's podcast, I've got Troy, also known as Tragic, and we've also got Nick, also known as Wolphie. Today's podcast is going to be a content creator spotlight with our boy Wolphie. So we're going to go all the way back to the beginning. Have you always gone by Wolphie?
No, my first username was a hoodie gamer when I first got into the gaming scene. I was a 13-year-old kid, and I wore a lot of hoodies, and I played a lot of games. And so I put two and two together, and came up with that name.
I mean, being honest, Chicken Fried honestly came from an occupation at the time, and, you know, I fried chicken for a living, so I became Chicken Fried, and 818 is my fire number, so I added that together, and I became Chicken Fried 818. Troy, how'd you come up with yours?
So originally me and my twin brother, we shared one account, and then we, obviously, as we got older, we got into different things. We started to take focus of, like, kill death ratios more, so we're like, fuck it, so we changed made our own accounts, and this was back on PS3, so we didn't have to worry about like PlayStation Live. So my name sort of came somewhat from that, and then I don't actually know how it came about, because it used to be like back then it used to just be our last name and our year of birth, and then I changed mine to something. It had Tragic in it, and then I sort of just shortened it over time. End up with just Tragic. So more recently.
Awesome. Well, I mean, it's always cool to know how people come up with their gamer tags, because some of them are so unique and some are very unique. But next, I want to get into, Wolfie, how did you come about getting introduced to the guys here at Ozone?
One day I decided to play a game of Apex, and I met a mutual friend of ours, and he promoted his stream that he was doing on Twitch. I liked how he played, and so I joined the stream, and the more active I got in his streams, the closer we got as friends, and the more I played with him. And then about a week later, I was introduced to you and a few other of you guys.
And we actually met over on PUBG, wasn't it?
I believe so, yes.
Because we were totally rocking the four-man crew on PUBG there for a long time. And we played some PUBG, we played some Apex, just depending on who all was in. And I mean, I feel like we bonded really, really good, like really fast, because of video games. And that's something I always like talking about, is how video gaming is such a cool bond between people. Because, I mean, I've said in previous podcasts, I'm here in central Missouri. Of course, Troy is over in Australia. And you're over in Kansas, which, I mean, Missouri and Kansas aren't that far away, but there is a 0.0001 possibility we ever would have met outside of the gaming universe. And really, it's truly a 1 in 1,000 chance that we even met on the gaming universe. But we met and we became such good friends so fast, and because I was already kind of running with Ozone, I had been, I mean, not really too awfully long, maybe 6 months or so when we started really connecting. And that's when I kind of got you introduced to Troy, because I was like, man, I got this guy. He's been playing with us quite a bit, and he's got a good attitude. He's got a good look to him. I think he could do some really good content if, you know, he really worked at it. So do you remember your first kind of interaction or meeting with Troy?
Very small memory of that time. You know, it was coming up 5 years ago now, and so, you know, all I remember is I was extremely nervous. I was a 18-year-old, 17-year-old at that time, actually, and so I was still in high school, and it was a big deal to me.
Well, like you said, I mean, being 5 years ago, I mean, 5 years ago, I was just getting into, well, I was 23, but kind of just getting into the meat of my 20s, and I really didn't know where life was going to lead me. A lot has happened in 5 years, let's be honest.
Oh yeah.
Um, you know, in the very beginning, when you kind of first got introduced to Troy and moved into Ozone, what were you what was your content like back then? Was it more just survival game based? Was it more kind of that open world GTA kind of thing? Or what kind of content were you making originally?
It was a little bit of everything. I didn't just stick to one genre of gaming. It ranged between shooter style games and survival style games.
And I mean, honestly, when you first started, um, especially on the Ozone side of things, it really was just that. It was just kind of streaming here and there, and it kind of was just getting into what streaming was really like. Because did you do a lot of streaming before you met the Ozone guys?
None, actually. I only started streaming because I met y'all.
Oh, that's cool. So I mean, like, because I was the same with me. I didn't start streaming until I met up with my boys. My boys wanted to stream, so I streamed. That's kind of how that all came about. So the next question I got to ask you is, what setup or setups do you play on currently?
Currently, I am on my computer, my PC. I do have a PS4. It's not set up. It's in a box somewhere. So I hope to get back into playing console games. But as of now, keyboard and mouse for sure.
So I've got to ask the controversial question. What setup is, in your opinion, the best?
Since I've played both, I have to say PC by far. Um, it's just, for me, it's better having a wide range to move your mouse, keyboard. It's just doing it for so long, I've gotten so used to it. So to me, that it's probably best.
So are you one of those kind of people that will plug a controller into your PC, or are you strictly mouse and keyboard?
When I first got my computer, I'd switch between the two, and then my controller broke and just never got a new one.
Well, being honest, like,
Yeah, I mean that's
Yeah.
for me, it depends on the game. So when I'm playing Apex on my laptop, or when I was playing Apex on my laptop, I was always doing that by controller. But we started getting into some different games that required you to use your mouse and keyboard, and I found that I liked it more than I gave myself credit for. I mean, I'm going to be honest. I grew up with the PlayStation 2, the Xbox 360. I moved all the way up to PS4 after that, and then I had my laptop for 4 or 5 years. And so I mean, I've kind of played both controller consoles as well as PC, and I'll agree with you that I believe PC's kind of the way to go, because I feel like you have so much more um, ability when it comes to content creation. Like right now, I'm back to streaming on my PlayStation 4, and it's possible you can do it, but it's not nearly as interactive, and it's not nearly as easy to work with when it comes to trying to stream, at least. And that's kind of where I'm really itching to get back to the PC. Troy, what are your thoughts? What are you currently playing on? What do you think's best?
Well, I basically now just game purely on PC. In terms of what I think is best, I would have to say PC as well. I haven't played on any of the new gen consoles, like PS5, whatever the new Xbox is called. I haven't played on any of them, so I can't judge in that sense. But like just going off like PC, you can put what you want in it. You can go as stream as you want. You can go as small as you want. You can build it purely to how you want it. You can work it however you want. And like PCs, it's like you can do multiple things on it. You can like it doesn't just have to be for gaming. You can do so much stuff on it. Like it's hard not to go past it. So
I feel like you have so much more creativity when you're on a PC, to be honest.
Yeah.
That's just how I feel about it, and that's coming from a guy, like I said, I played Xbox, I played PlayStation. I've kind of done it all when it comes to that. So I definitely would say PC. Um, but now we got to ask the question: what are we playing on those consoles? So, Wolfie, in your best description, what games are you currently playing?
I'm playing more shooter style games like Warzone and Apex, Valorant.
So I'm gonna be honest. Like I said, I'm back on my PlayStation, so right now I'm just hitting like Apex, some Rocket League here and there, and Minecraft. Spoiler alert: there might be some YouTube videos coming very soon. I didn't confirm that yet, but keep your eyes open on any of the Ozone YouTube channels because we might have some cool Minecraft content coming pretty soon. But just playing those simple things that I can still play with friends, because in my opinion, gaming to me is not the same when you're by yourself. Um, I can Minecraft for hours by myself, but God, it's so much more fun when you've got people to play with, especially the man I'm going to shoot to next, Troy. What are you playing currently?
What am I playing at the moment? So I usually first-person shooters, so Call of Duty. Don't really touch the Warzone side of it. Purely more the arena shooter. Um, but like yeah, Apex whenever the boys are around. Leave company when people are playing. I don't really have a real big like need to play a game. Like I'll play whatever the group's playing. But usually it's a first person shooter, something like that. Also playing like obviously GTA roleplay, which has been something I've played for a few years now. A few, more like 6. Yeah, so just that sort of stuff.
So going kind of based on that GTA roleplay, Wolfie, have you ever done any dabbling in GTA's role playing servers?
I've went as far as downloading the program to get it started, and I just never really finished the or crossed the finish line. So I played normal GTA, but never gotten into the role play side of it.
So I did the role play for a little bit. I got in a server and I played some EMS, which is funny coming from me. But I had fun with it for about 3 or 4 months, and then it kind of got a little bit too monotonous for me with the requirements of how much time I had to put into that game, and I felt like it was taking me away from other games that I was really enjoying at the time, and it was taking me away from that friendship aspect that I enjoy in games. I was interacting with a lot of people because those servers are up to 120, 130 people at sometimes, but I wasn't getting the one-on-one with people like Tragic, Slaytech, my buddy Zach, my buddy Jacob. Those guys don't do the well. Some of them do the GTA, some of them don't. But because I wasn't, kind of getting that individual one-on-one game time with those guys, I felt like I was growing apart from them, and I didn't like that either. Plus, there was a couple days I left there really feeling a strain on my mental health, and I don't feel like you should ever leave gaming feeling like your mental health is strained. So I got out of it for that reason. I've talked about dabbling back in it again when I get a new PC built, but I'm not too, gung ho to get back into it. If I do get into it, it's just going to be to chill and hang out with people that I've met through the roleplay servers. But are there any games that you look forward to playing in the near future, whether it be tomorrow, next week, next month, next year? Any old favorites, any new releases that are coming out? What are your plans, Wolfie?
Apex Legends is an old game that I used to play. Now I don't play it as much, but I've always wanted to get back into it, as well as PUBG. Like we said earlier, we haven't played that in years. Rainbow Six Siege as well. That game was super fun. And a couple of new ones. One just released and one hasn't come out yet, but the Ark Survival series. I love dinosaurs, so those games look really fun, and I'm excited to play those.
So I've never heard of Ark or any like the Ark series. Explain it to me. What's the general concept?
It's pretty much your simple survival game. You go around collecting materials, and there is a taming function where you can tame different dinosaur types, ranging from T-Rex to Velociraptor to pterodons. I mean, there's really, it's a mind. It is for people who love building, who love exploration, and material collecting. I personally enjoy the game. One of my favorite games out of any gaming genre. I love it.
So it sounds like, I mean, it's kind of like the same general concept as like a little bit like Minecraft almost, where you kind of collect resources, kind of build what you want to. It sounds like a game I could get behind, because I'm not gonna say I'm, a big archaeologist, but I've always thought that dinosaurs are cool. So maybe that's something when it comes out we can get together and we can make some videos on. I'm gonna be honest. Like I said, I'm rocking Apex still. I do like how Apex has kind of kept it pretty fresh here lately. We just got off a big kick for it's about a month and a half or so, might have been longer, where they were doing a Final Fantasy crossover. That event was so cool to me because it brought in some new ideas and some new weapons, skins, that I don't think would have necessarily been there if they hadn't done that collab. I have always been a big fan of Apex. I played Fortnite for a long time, and it's not that Fortnite and Apex are really that much different. It's just Apex has that little bit of a hold on me personally, because I'm big on, the different characters and abilities. Any of my Apex people, I'm a Lifeline all the way. Also very funny seeing that I'm the first responder of the group. But I love Lifeline. Always back up as maybe a Valk, or if I really need to, a Caustic. Those are my guys. But I also want to get back into PUBG as well. We met originally on PUBG, and we had so much fun with it because it's kind of the same idea as every other, open battlefield type game. And it's so cool to go back to a game like that after all this time, because I haven't played PUBG in probably 3.5, 4 years. So I would love to go back and see what's changed from then to now, and kind of get to compare that to some old clips I have from when I played PUBG. Don't really have any new releases on my list right now. I was playing Lethal Company there for a little bit until I fried my laptop, and I don't have the ability to play that right now, but definitely going to get back into it once we get the new setup going. Troy, what are your plans for the future? What are you thinking about playing?
Well, I don't really know of a game in the near future that's coming out. Obviously, GTA 6 comes out. It's been announced for 2025, 2026. So that will obviously, when it gets closer, I'll be excited to play that. But it's more games that have came out that I've wanted to play, but I haven't really played yet. Like, I wouldn't mind getting back into the Return to Moria, the Lord of the Rings game that came out in late October, early November. Like when I was up in America, that came out, and I played that at Slatex setup on and off for a few days, sort of just switching between the two of us at night, and we weren't doing anything, just sort of chilling. So there's obviously like that stuff. At the moment, it's obviously just Call of Duty, 5M. Wouldn't mind getting back into that. Obviously, Minecraft's always a go-to, so whenever we play Minecraft, it's always a good time. So.
Oh man, we have a blast when we play Minecraft. The only problem is when we play Minecraft, you get me in trouble.
Hey, you can't blame me. You can't blame me.
So, just for example, the other night, I told them, hey, I'm going to get on. We've got like maybe 2 hours or so. I got to get off by midnight. No questions asked. I have to be off. I've got a class the next morning, 8 a.m. for the firehouse, and I cannot miss it. Finally, he goes, hey, what time is it over there? And I looked down and it was 12:30, and I'm like, ah, crap, I'm already past my deadline. What's 15 more minutes? And then some time goes by, we get some more of our builds done, and Troy goes, hey, what time is it? And I'm like, oh crap, it's 1:15. Okay, we're done. I gotta go. So I love a mindless game.
There was the weekend before where it was, yeah, just a little bit. I'm getting off in 15 minutes. And this started about, around midnight. And I think it was about, 4:30 a.m.?
It was 3:45 when we got off.
No, it was late. Because I was getting ready to get to bed. Like, yeah, so you can't blame me.
Well,
that's all on you.
Luckily, the second time that happened, my wife was out of town. So she only learned that I stayed up that late when she got home today. Then
she
the other
message
time,
me, it wasn't me. It's not my fault.
but the first time, it was one of those. The next morning, she looked at me and she goes, "Did you get into bed at 4 o'clock this morning?" No, I just got up to get a drink at 4 o'clock. So I don't think she believed me, but it is what it is.
Well, she's definitely not going to believe you now.
So the next thing I want to talk about is kind of going back to content in general. Because this is a spotlight for Wolphie, I want to know, what are your future plans for content?
Well, I want to do both YouTube videos as well as streaming on both Twitch and YouTube. Gaming is a big thing that I've wanted to do for so long, and now that I have a professional-ish setup, I can actually start getting into more gaming type style videos and streaming, as well as more IRL content.
So when you say IRL, are you looking towards vlogs? Are you looking towards how-tos? What are you thinking?
A little bit of everything, mainly vlogs though.
So what are we thinking about vlogging? Your daily walk to the store, your work routine. What are you thinking?
Pretty much just what goes on in my day, and just kind of a day in the life of me.
I gotcha. So what are your plans on? Are you just planning on staying on like the YouTube video side, or you want to get in more to streaming, or what's your thoughts?
I want to do both. I am leaning more towards video creation than streaming. The streaming will be more when I have the time and energy. So, yeah.
So, I love the idea of getting into YouTube because I feel like YouTube is such a big market. There's such a big wide range of people that you can interact with on YouTube. I love Twitch personally. I'd love to get into YouTube, but I just don't have the editing software or the time to do that right now. But I definitely think that Twitch is kind of a niche. You got to find the right people to really interact with. Some people make it really big, and those guys, good for you. I've noticed my channel does grow, but I feel like if I pushed it more on YouTube, I could build a bigger community there. But I absolutely love streaming on Twitch. I've really loved making some YouTube content with Ozone. But yeah, I definitely think that YouTube creation is going to be a big thing coming up. And I can't wait to see what you bring to YouTube, as well as what you're going to bring to the streams. Not just from a Ozone standpoint, because I, as the vice president of Ozone, love to promote content creators or anybody who wants to create content, because I want you to grow yourself, because when you grow, Ozone grows, and when Ozone grows, we all grow. So I love the idea of you wanting to get into YouTube and make content, but I gotta ask, kind of where have you been and where are you with Ozone currently?
I took a pretty long break from the whole content creation, which means I had to step away from Ozone and kind of reevaluate what I was doing. But this is my first project with Ozone in 3 years, so I want to keep doing stuff like this, as well as streaming and stuff with everybody in Ozone. and maybe one day have a bigger affiliation.
I can tell you that sometimes breaks are a necessity. Sometimes you do have to step back and kind of figure out where you're going, not just personally, but professionally as a streamer, if you want to call it that. But I understand that, and I want you to know, on behalf of me, I'm glad to see you coming back. I'm glad to see you getting more involved because, like I said, we've been friends for so long that I want to see you grow and I want to see great things happen for you, and I hope that Ozone is that place for you. So I'm going to give Troy a couple minutes to kind of give his thoughts. But definitely, like I said, from my perspective, I'm glad to see you getting active again.
Thank you, man. Appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm obviously happy to see it as well. It's been a fair while, but yeah, it's always once Ozone's home, you're always welcome back. So yeah, I'm happy. I'm obviously looking forward to doing future things, depending on what it is. Like obviously, some of these might come back up. We might do some other series or whatever. I'm happy to do anything. So if you need me for anything, just hit me up.
I shall.
So, guys, we've kind of reached the end of our episode today. Definitely want you guys to know you'll find all of Wolfie's gamer tags, Twitch, YouTube, anything he's got set up is going to be down in the description of the video. Make sure you go hit that up. Go give him some love. Also, make sure if you haven't hit that subscribe button, go ahead and do that. That way you get notifications anytime that we post anything here at the Zoned In podcast. We love and appreciate you so much for being here. This is Troy's favorite part of the video, even though it's his least favorite part of the video. Make sure you go check us out over at ozonegg.com. That's the official homepage of Ozone Esports. From there, you'll find links to everything we've got going on, teams, events, any special projects we're working on, and you might even find the links to these videos there. But for now, guys, we want to say once again, we love you, thank you, but for now, we're out.